I'm gonna be there in a second. Don't give me that look. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with some books that I have bought recently. So it is yet another time for one of my favorite videos to do on this channel, which is haul videos. I absolutely adore doing haul videos. I don't know why I like them so much, but I do. I've got a good stack for you to show you guys today, so I'm just gonna jump right in and talk to you about the books that I bought last month. So the first one that I want to show you is one that's probably one of my most anticipated to come out this year. Maybe not my number one, but like super high up there. And that is The Five Dark Fates by Kendara Blake. This is the fourth and final in the Three Dark Crowns series. And I'm obsessed with this. I'm actually currently reading this as of filming this. And this is a fancy signed first edition that I got from Barnes & Noble. So because this is the fourth and final in the series, I don't want to talk about it too much. But this does follow a set of triplets who all have different powers. An elemental who can control like the elements and like the weather. A poisoner who is really good at poisons and basically not being killed by them. And a naturalist who kind of has like control of nature and like animals and that kind of stuff. So it follows the three of them as they vie for the same crown. So this is like the fourth in the series and so much is happening and I just need this in my life. The next book that I want to show you is the book that I got for September's Owl Crate, and that is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. I've actually already read this one as of filming this. I read it earlier this month. It basically is like a zombie book, kind of. Where this girl and this boy are trying to like figure out why these like people are not dying, and they call them the Bone Houses. So this is very like atmospheric for this time of year because it kind of is like that creepier vibe in a sense. I ended up giving it I think like 3.5 stars or 3 stars, I can't remember. I'll go into more detail about it, but I didn't really get like any creepy vibes. I got like atmospheric vibes because it kind of has like those undead elements of it, but like nothing really scared me like at all. And I'm a chicken. And then the rest of them, yeah, all of these I got on the same day. So everything else that I have to show you, I got a couple near the end of September, I want to say, because my best friend Lauren, who you've seen on this channel many a time, came to visit us, and so we went out and did bookish things. Kind of went a little crazy because I'm me. So the first one that I'm going to show you out of this stack is called Because You Love to Hate Me. This is a collection of stories written by YA authors in collaboration with booktubers. And there's some like big names on here, like Jessie the Reader is in here, Little Book Owl, read by Zoe is in here. A different, author teamed up with a different booktuber to write basically a bunch of stories about villainy. So it's kind of like a bunch, I think it's 13 stories told from the villain's perspective. And I am obsessed with like that kind of retellings of stories like Wicked and things like that, where it's kind of a different take on the story but from like a villain perspective. I just wanted to give this one a shot because I like short story books and they're fun and villains. The end. The next book that I picked up was The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I actually read this one earlier this year, I want to say, and I really liked it, so I wanted my own copy of it. So that is why I ended up picking this one up. This one's actually a movie now, so I'm sure many of you have heard about this one, but it follows Natasha and Daniel. And it takes place during one day, and Natasha's family is about to get deported to Jamaica, I believe, is where she's from. Yes. And Daniel is just kind of like not wanting to like live up to his parents' expectations. He wants to do like his own thing, and they end up accidentally meeting up and spending the entire day together. So it is their story and I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to get my own copy, so I found this copy at one of like the discount bookstores. The next book that I picked up was this beautiful copy of Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. This is the Barnes & Noble edition, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Not only does it have this like nighttime kind of cover, it's also like beautiful under the cover. If I can get the jacket off, thank you. It's got like these moons and stars and stuff, but also like the end pages are just gorgeous. So like they're so pretty. But this follows the story of Simon Snow and Baz, and their friend Penny as they decide to come to America for like a little bit. So they come here on kind of like a road trip type situation. I actually have already read this one as well. I didn't love it as much as the first one. I'm still kind of iffy on it. I'm not 100% sure what I think, but I will definitely be talking about this more in my wrap up. But this book is gorgeous and I'm obsessed with it. The next book that I picked up was The Downstairs Girl by Stacey Lee. This is one that I had discovered at the end of last year and was like, I need to get my hands on that. And totally forgot that it had come out until I saw it on the shelf, and so I needed to pick it up. It follows this Korean girl whose name is Jo, I believe. Yeah, Jo, who works as a lady's maid for a very wealthy family in Atlanta, and at night she kind of moonlights as an anonymous column writer, and basically when it gets really popular she starts kind of like testing the limits on some stuff, and writing some little like scandalous things in there, kind of testing, I think it's race and like gender and things like that, some of society's ills is how she puts it. And so it just kind of like follows her and people trying to figure out who she is, and then I think at one point she's trying to figure out what her past is, and so like there's a whole lot going on in this book. But just the idea of like an anonymous lady's maid writing this column that like tons of people love, I'm intrigued. So I had to pick this one up because I finally got it. The next book I picked up totally on the whim, and that is Where I End and You Begin by Preston Norton. This one follows Ezra and Winona, and it kind of is like a body switching situation, so it's like a contemporary, but it's not. Like, I'm really confused as to what's happening here. Ezra is like almost in love with this girl, and the only thing that stands in his way is her best friend Winona, and something happens where they wake up in each other's bodies, and he discovers that Winona has like a huge crush on his best friend, and so like they're trying to help each other out. They switch back and forth each day. So like Ezra is himself one day, and then he's Winona the next day, and then himself, and like vice versa. So it's like a whole lot of stuff going on here, but it sounds like kind of that he feels more himself when he's in Winona's body. So I'm wondering if there's like some kind of trans rep in here. I'm not sure, but just this idea kind of like got my attention. It was one of those books that I picked up and I looked at, and then I was like, you know, I'm gonna put this back, and I'm like, I'll think about it, and then I kept coming back to it and kept coming back to it, so I just decided to get it. And the last four that I have to show you today are all middle grade books. You heard me correct. I picked up middle grade books. There is a Beliebathon. It is a middle grade readathon hosted by Gavin here on YouTube, taking place next month, and I decided to take part in it. So I've been in like this middle grade, like kind of like wanting to read more of that, just because like middle grade and I are kind of iffy at the moment. So that's why I picked all of these up, because they all sounded really interesting and I thought that I would give them a shot. So the first book that I picked up was Lily and Duncan by Donna Gephardt. This one follows like a whole lot of stuff going on. So it follows a girl named Lily who was born Timothy, and he's in 8th grade but feels more comfortable being a female, but is still like kind of stuck in a male's body. So it follows Lily and Duncan, who has a bipolar disorder, and they kind of become friends. So I don't really know what's going to happen here, but there's all kinds of rep in this book. So I wanted to see how not only did you have trans rep, but you also have like mental health and how that's handled in a middle grade. Lauren actually picked this one up with me as well, so I think we're both going to end up reading this next month. And she's kind of more in the middle grade than I am, so I'm intrigued to see kind of like someone who is used to more middle grade handling harder topics and someone who doesn't read a lot of middle grade at all, how they're going to think about the same story. So that's why I picked this one up, and it just sounded really interesting, and like I said, I'm intrigued by how they're going to handle all of these hard topics. So the next book that I picked up was called The Gallery by Laura Marks Fitzgerald. This one is kind of like a mystery Gatsby 20s kind of like situation. It takes place in this giant house. It follows a girl named Martha whose mother works in this house, and everybody in this house, including the owners to the footmen to her mother, all have like secrets, but like this gallery in the middle of the house might be holding like this secret that everyone kind of knows about. So it just sounded really, really interesting, and this cover is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you can like see it properly right now because it just got like really dark all of a sudden, but it's so pretty, and it's, you know, kind of like a historical fiction book. So I needed to pick this up because mystery, historical fiction. I'm there. So the next book that I picked up was called The Miraculous by Jess Redman. This follows a boy named Wonder who like believes in like magic and all of this stuff until his baby sister dies after a few days being born, and he kind of like decides that, you know, screw it, like the world doesn't have magic anymore, there's no good things. And then he meets a girl named Faye who was all kinds of about the adventure, and he and her kind of go on this adventure for an older lady in the neighborhood, and it sounds like they're gonna find some magic. So it's like this boy kind of believing again. So I thought that was really, really cute, and also this cover is so pretty. Like, do you see the sunset here? Because, oh my goodness. And the very last book that I have to show you about is probably one of the ones that I'm most excited about, and that is called Time Sight by Lynn Johnell. I probably said that wrong, and I apologize. It follows a boy named Will and his siblings, whose mother is overseas and is in danger, so their father goes to help her, and in doing so, him and his siblings get kind of like shipped off to some family in Scotland, and in doing so, like looking at the world differently, he kind of discovers like, I don't know how to explain it, like this veil where he can see into the past. I don't know what that's going to mean, but it has to do with Scotland, it has to do with castles, and it's time travel, so I'm down for this. Like, I'm down for all of this. So it says in here that it's kind of like when he goes to this castle, it's kind of like boring and bland, but he kind of shifts, they say he shifts his focus, and he tunes into a different visual frequency, the past. That is the coolest thing that I have ever heard. Okay, I am losing light, but that is it. That is all I've got for you guys today. Those are the books that I have bought recently. I hope you guys enjoyed. If there's any on here that you guys have heard about, please let me know what you thought down below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to be part of this awesome growing family we've got going on over here. But I will see you guys in my next video.